Today is day 172 of Arukh HaShulchan OC. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of Arukh HaShulchan OC, it would obviously be very much appreciated. Please contact me directly. We are today still in Simon Kuf Chav Ches, as we will be for quite some time. And today we're doing Sifim Yud Ches to Chav Hey. So, when they go, when the Kohen go up on the Duchen, they stand facing the Aron, with their backs towards the nation, towards their congregation. That's both saying kifufim. Their fingers are bent until kapeim, into their fist. Not as it will be a time bracha. Ad shemesayim hashatz birchas atov shimcha v'chulei. As the tzibur finishes atov shimcha v'chulei those, a tzibur named Amen, and the tzibur answers Amen. Hashatz omer b'kol kohanim. The tzibur says loud kohanim. Then they turn towards the people. With their backside toward the Oron. Because that's what Kodesh Baruch Hu said. It said in the command, Ko to Baruch Hu. So you should bless them. Panim k'neged panim, face to face. And more lahem, say to them. Like a person is talking to his friend. But Kama Chavim Yisrael Lifnei Kodesh Baruch Hu. How precious are the Jews before Hashem. Sheyishol Kohanim Lamod Achareihem Klapei Heichol. Kodesh Baruch Hu will allow the Kohanim to stand with their backs towards the Aron. B'shul Berchos Yisrael for the blessing of the Jewish people. Ashatz Lo Yomar Klal Elokeinu B'Kei Avosenu Barucheinu B'Chulei. Because Shliach Tzibur should not say the Elokeinu B'Kei Avosenu, which one says in the absence of Kohanim. Kein Lo Inyan B'Berchos Kohanim, because that is not relevant to Berchos Kohanim when the Kohanim are actually present. But I feel also Manogin Lomar, even those who do have a custom to say it, this appears in this substitute, Yizaru Lamur Balachash, they say it silently. When he uses the word Kohanim, Yomar Kohanim B'Kol Gadol B'Kol. And we should say Kohanim then out loud. The following words, your holy nation, as it is stated, you say it silently. That's custom in these countries. I think that in these countries, people say Am Kadosh come more out loud. But v'yesh mishlichei tzibur to'im. There are the mishlichei tzibur make mistakes. Showing bekol okay. They say okay, we'll say out loud. V'yesh li zaram al zeh. You have to warn them concerning this. Chimuch leili b'soita. It's explicit in Mesech Soita Sham Sham. And according to Rosh Hashanah Krokus Kohanim, the Kohen cannot cry out Kohanim until Ad sheyichle Amen mipi hatzibur. It says that you not say Kohanim until after the Amen is finished. But that proves that they said Kohanim right after the bracha, which is the always in Eretz Yisrael. Tzibur also only says Kohanim when there's at least two Kohanim present. The Mishnah Berurah brings that from the Eliyah Rabbah. The Mishnah says out loud Kohanim. Even with there's only one Kohen, it's not a problem because it's not a hefsek, so you don't have to rebuke it. But in any event, the strictly speaking, it should only be said to two Kohanim or more. But more lohem says say to them. If there's only one Kohen, he does everything on his own initiative. An individual also has to make a bracha, as we learned previously. But the Tzibur doesn't call out to him. We already said he doesn't transgress mitzvah say, he doesn't go up. That only applies when other people tell him to go up. Some said it's only a rabbinic obligation to bless the congregation. The world said it is a mitzvah d'oraisa. It's not just, you're not over anything by not doing it. It says, brackets here, not seem to all the way, but either on the contrary, at the very least it's a rabbinic obligation, but it's likely more. You test. In most places, it's as is well known. Kodesh is in the east. We already grappled with this, why this is so. And the Kohen turn to the west. If the Kodesh is on the south or on the north, Yesh Mishom and those say you should have shots. They should place the Shliach Tzibur below Marav and not to the west. Yesh Kodesh and other places they're not meticulous about this either way. Maslavin, truth says, oh, I don't understand. Allah Torah is here, panim shel robot tzibur. The Torah obviously wanted to address the faces of the majority of the tzibur. So it's clear that the place where most of the tzibur are staying, that's the place towards which you should direct yourself. The Mishnah Berurah brings this opinion that he says, some say that it's better the Kohanim should stand in the east, even though the Oren is in a different place. And the people should stand opposite them face to face. The bottom line is, though, it's supposed to be face to face. The ideal place for the Kohen to stand is by the Oren. That's the place where the platform should be for displaying the blessing. Well, based on Mikdash, just like the base Mikdash, there's still a special platform. It's designated place like a platform. Moshe appears to Rav so Perik based the Midos, like the Bartanur says. Lashon Mishnah Bekalim, Mishnah Bekalim Perik Zayin, from the language of the Mishnah Kalim, it says Dachon Sheyesh Lo Beis Kibul. The chon is something which has a receptacle. In other words, it's something hollow, but it means that it's, I guess, something which is separate from the when it's put on the ground. It's separate. It stands higher than the ground. When it says lift up your hands and holiness, that is tuli dechem kanai al duchan kutsha. That the Kohanim should lift up their hands on the holy platform. That's why they have to stand there by the Kodesh, where it's usually elevated, at least in the old days. Kohanim Merubim, there are many Kohanim Yamdu but study Aduchim, because some Mizrach, they should stand on the sides of the platform on the east wall. This, and that is the prevalent minhag. So Kohen should not stand in a place where he constantly stands. Because even he sits in the east, because he has to uproot himself from his place. Design. But Kohanim not know the halacha. So can't therefore have to tell them that they should not stand in place; they have to actually move. It doesn't say concerning the bracha which Kohanim make, whether mevarchim where they make the bracha when they're standing towards the Oren, or when they're facing the congregation. The Rambam writes that they make the bracha while they're still facing the Oren. Then they turn around to the Tzibur Ein Sham. First they face the congregation, then they make the bracha. That is our minhag. Some Kohanim begin the bracha when they're facing towards the Oren. Over emsa bracha, in the middle of the bracha, they turn around towards the congregation. This is astonishing. I guess the Arukh HaShulchan felt nishtaher. It's neither this way nor that way. The pasuk and the minhag is widespread, like the Tur and Shulchan Aruch. But the Mishnah Berurah disagrees. Mishnah Berurah says that the medakti and those are meticulous do turn around in the middle of the bracha, and I believe that actually is the modern custom. That they say ba'ava, but they explain it based on the Zohar. Any Kohen who does not love the people, or people do not love him, should not do it. For he said, according to this Kohen based on said that a Kohen should accept upon himself in thought when he's about to bless the community, to love the tzibur. And the tzibur gain lehovas kohanim, and the tzibur to love the kohanim. And this bracha, which is made before duchening, everybody all kohanim make this bracha. Not that one makes a bracha and they all answer amen. And even though it's true that with all brachas, it's better for one to make the bracha than others to be yotzei, mishum the rova madras melech, because that is the ikar way to fulfill the idea of rova madras melech. Most of the in the greater company, there's more glory for the king. These are brachas. It's not possible because that may make them confused. So that this Magen Avraham intended to say. Yudbei Chabez. The Kohanim Magbihim Yudeim Chagnek Yisvosem. The Kohanim lift up their hands opposite their shoulders. Agmi Yadim is Kasamal Minas Malis. They pick up the right hand a little bit higher than the left hand. They expand their hands, and it's the same, and they split the fingers. Why they lift up the right hand higher? The Chassidus says, I saw Aaron es Yodav. It says Aaron lifted up his hands, but that's the way we read it. But the way it's spelled is Yodo, his hand. Teaches one is higher than this other. Yad Yamin, and that's the right hand. Gaber Yamin, so that the right should overcome Shu Chesed. Should overcome small Shu Gvur. The left, which is Gvura, the compassion over just judgment. They have in mind to make the two hands 5 air spaces. Between the two fingers and two fingers, splitting apart the two fingers like that, and bein etzbel godel, between the pointer and the thumb. Bein godel go between thumb and thumb. Bein beis etzbel b'shtei yadayim beis avirim. And that's the two between the two fingers in two hands. There are two spaces. There's another 2 spaces. One between thumb and thumb. It says Kosh Baruch Hu peeks out from the cracks. In Chamisha Charakim. Hey, it says Hacharakim. Hey Charakim. 5 cracks. And they spread out their hands so the inside of the hand should face downwards. In the back of the hands, can shine towards the heavens. Even though you put the right hand a little bit higher, small. Nevertheless, you have to put the right finger on the left one. That they shouldn't be separated from each other. In their so there should be more than 5 gaps. Not sure exactly I get more than 5. I don't know you get more than 5. I don't know exactly how that works. Strange. Okay, so I looked it up on Wikipedia. The fifth aperture is like this. It's over here. In other words, you put like that. So that is how you get the 5th aperture. You have between these two fingers and these two fingers, between this finger and this finger, and same the other hand, and between that like that. So I guess you have to put the right hand just a little bit higher that it's still touching. Okay. Good. Back to the Arukh HaShulchan. We were saying that some people who make the sign of UK Vavk, Shem Shakai, and some do the name Shadai, because that's what Zeus Yisera, and this requires special care. Local bekimas and not every Kohen could do this. Okay, we know money was there, therefore we refrain from this. Just do it like it says in the books. The Kohen begins saying Yivarecha below Kriyas HaShatz. Okay, we obviously don't have this meaning nowadays. They say Recha without the Shliat Tzibur saying it. The B'tei showing like Lamite. First word, they're not going to make a mistake. Shots. And then the Tzibur reads it out for them, Mila ben Mila, word for word, and Mila, and they answer, say each word after him, actually sign pasuk Yivrechacha, till they finish the first pasuk, Yivrecha Shem Yishmerecha, but Tzibur Nimon, amen. Tzibur answers, amen. Chen Biera Makri Hashatz, but Chen Biyoer, sorry. So it's the second pasuk, Makri Hashatz, so Tzibur tells him what to say. Tzibur Amen Achar Vichuneka, and the Tzibur answers amen after Vichuneka. Chen Biyisah, and the third pasuk Ad Shalom, putting out Tzibur Amen. Chagam Maschil Shel Tzibur Shtim Shalom. Then Shel Tzibur starts in Shalom. V'az the Kohanim Machzirim Pnei Leichol. And then the Kohanim turn back to the Aron. Now, so the Shapur says that by one Kohen, everybody agrees that you do read the Mivarechacha. And he says that to be makri is only a mitzvah chatchila. It's not ma'akev. It's not a impediment. But I think that, as far as I recall, that we are makri yivarechacha to kohanim. I'm not sure where that comes from. It comes from the end of the seif. That's where it comes from. Okay. Anyway, after kohanim turn around towards the heichal for sim shalom, but maybe Bon say the tefillah. Master of the universe, I say, we did with that which you decreed upon us. I say it to Mashiach, do with that which you promised us. Case down from your holy abode from the heavens. Bless your nation Israel. Nation extend this tefillah. Aji Saim Shat Sim Shalom till Shil Tzibur and Sim Shalom. Shenu Tzibur Amer Shtein Tzibur Shtein remain both on Sim Shalom and their supplication. If they can't dawdle that long, they just say Adir Marom, which is what the tzibur is supposed to say, as become clear later on. But when the tzibur says a long time, Yom Tam Tzenu, they should only say Ribon towards at the end, after Yom Tam Tzenu. That she sang to finish with the tzibur together. That which she wrote, I'm not sure why he waited to hear, but that which she said, the Berachah the Kohanim saying, the Ronkas Rabbein Ramah B'Sipur Gimel, the Yeshua, some say, Gam HaGivarcha Makriel So Hashat Schila, that also the Berachah the Shlatz says first. That's in the all countries, says the Ramah. Yesh Otam Nistar Masha Shatz Makriel Sam. Arukh HaShulchan tosses in that there are also Kabbalistic reasons why the shots should be Makri, so therefore it applies even to Berechacha. Chav Dalet, Ein Barachim B'Lashon HaKodesh, Berachos Kohen specifically in Hebrew, V'lo B'Lashon Hara, it's not in a foreign language. Ulikuvo, this is an impediment. To the B'Yevet Lo Yotzu, they're not Yotze, even B'Yevet, they do in a foreign language. You see, Kol Te Baruch Hu, thus you should make the bracha B'Lashon HaKodesh. Uva'amida Dafka, now it's have to specifically be standing. See, L'shor So Uvarech B'Shmo, to serve God and to bless in His name. Ma'asheru is Ba'amida, just like serving God is standing up. The Chsiv La'amod L'shreitz, it says, one stands to serve, Abracha Ma'amida, so to the bracha is standing. L'siyas Kapayim Dafka, and when it says L'siyas Kapayim, lifting up the hands, it's literal. Romas Kapayim, lifting up the hands, literally the fists. The Chsiv Vayisa Aaron As Yodav Ha'am Mevarachem, Aaron lifted up his hands towards the nation and blessed them. So the Mishnah Berurah says that Kohen is weak and can't stand except by leaning on something, should not do it. Okay, and even supporting his hands also is no good because he has to be lifting his hands, so he can't support himself and can't support his hands. Okay, Uvakoram, it's got to be out loud. This back to Arukh HaShulchan. Say them. The person speaks his friend. Should be a medium voice. Not so high, not so low. Shmuel says that they should sometimes they have to do it in a very loud voice, such as when the many mispalim and everybody has to be able to hear. Kohen not allowed to turn around until Shlisir begins to show. They're also not allowed to bend their fingers until they turn around. When they stand there, they can't move from there until the end of Sim Shalom. Tanakosavlu b'sif base. We wrote b'sif base, which is that is the Birkas Kohanim formally ends with Shalom in order to the Shigorma Kol Tefillah b'Shleimus. Shalom. Okay, and Yesh Yishmael Tzrichim L'Amtin Ad She'Yisayma Tzibur L'Samei. They have to wait until the Tzibur finishes Amei. Achar Baruch, after the Bracha Baruch Samam V'Sov Shalom B'Chein HaMinok. That's the custom. The Nogul Amar Kohanim Yasher Korachem. When they say Yasher Korach, go out to the Kohanim. Shim Barchi, and they respond, may you be blessed. Mishabura says that the Kohanim should be careful not to talk until they come down from the Duchan. Mishabura also says that even after, wait until after Amen, until after Rovat Tzibur says Amen. And Mishabura says that now the minhag is to say Yasher, when the Kohanim come down from the Duchan, Yasher. Well, I'm sorry. Now the minhag is to say Yasher Koyach. It's best for them not to come down until the Tzibur finishes Kaddish, in order that the Kohanim and the people shall be distracted from answering Amen Yeshmei Rabbah and the other Amenim by everybody saying Shkoyach, Shkoyach, Shkoyach. I think that actually may be the case. When they turn back to the people, go back to the Yachzu Derech Aminish, go back on the right side. And even the left, so Sharatzion says even the left he goes on the right side. When he's standing towards the east, you should turn towards the south. Oh no, I'm sorry. When they turn around at the beginning of the bracha, they should turn towards the right. And that is when they're standing towards the east, towards the Aron, so then they turn via the south. Then when they turn back to the Aron, since they were standing west, they should go around through the north. The cloud behind them, we have this general principle. Any corners you turn, you should turn to the right. When they come down off the platform, they should come down backwards. Like a Talmud who's taking leave of his Rebbe. She doesn't face the Aron while they are coming down. And when they put on their shoes, with a cloth. Because if they put them on with their hands, and they have to wash their hands, because davening ain't over until it's over.